I'm so worried.
Don't be a worry, Wart.
Yeah, don't worry.
There's a lot. It's a lot to worry about.
What?
Look, like, what's going on in the world? It's all crazy. I'm so worried. I don't know what to do. What should we do? I don't even know. Should we start Coffee with Ken? I'm so worried.
I think we should. I don't think we should worry.
We shouldn't worry. Welcome to Coffee with Ken. This is Ken Brown. He is CEO of Destiny Global. And we've got Butch McCracken. He is General Manager here at Destiny Global. And I'm Dr. April Brown, Executive Vice President of Coaching here at Destiny Global. And I'm really trying not to worry. There's so much.
Oh, my gosh.
There's so much to worry about.
Really?
Well,
Have you seen the news lately?
I don't watch it.
It's all doom and gloom.
I don't watch it.
It's bad.
My world's going pretty good. I just turned them off and everything else seems to go okay. I don't know about you. See, if you turn that off and focus on the life around you, what you'll find is that there's lots of positive things going on. So all the world way out there, because it just was, remember the saying I just said the other day? In fact, I was talking about it last night. In the world, you're just one person. But to one person, you are the world. So if you are so focused on I just blew Mitch's mind. He can't even think right now.
look at that.
Look at
dropping some wisdom.
this. Yeah, I can't take credit for that saying, right? Actually, that was written like so many great things that we forget about, that we just want to put up and then, go back to, because we forget about it, we want to go back to occasionally, are these great, great, great books. And some of the best business books ever written were written in the 20s and 30s and 40s, and Dale Carnegie, and even sections of Napoleon Hill, right, where you get people talking about mindsets to begin with. And it's crazy.
And not allowing worry to come in. Like, it doesn't help. What does it help you to worry one day?
Well, that's what the Creator told us to think. So if I think He made us so He might know how we probably should think, because when we get consumed with worry, you cannot solve things. Carmen taught on that, the last First Steps to Success, which we'll talk about soon. But our teachings in that, and really when you either are going to be focused on the problem or solutions, your mind will not allow you to focus on both.
You cannot be innovative. You can't be creative. You can't find solutions if you are stuck in worry and in fear and in fret. You cannot be innovative. You can't be creative. I have so many testimonies of that, but particularly my son freaking out when he couldn't find his phone, literally could not think. He was freaking out and worried. And
while we were going through security,
we
won't go into all that detail. But
at a Bible institute that's Israeli type security, and there's a dog sniffer there, and he's just acting. And pulling out all of his stuff of his bag, and I'm just let's take this stuff over here. Let's just calm down. Let's think. Okay, let's not worry. Let's think. And as soon as I did that, he had this brilliant idea of what to do. So literally, he couldn't even think because he was so stuck in worry, and that actually helped me to see as a literal illustration. As soon as he stopped worrying, as soon as he stopped freaking out and taking all of the stuff out of his bag and
so
acting, worry wart, for sure, and just calmed down and just thought about it. What do we need to do in this situation? What is the solution? It came to his mind. So that's literally literally before my eyes could see how it's not possible to really be creative, think through solutions. You're just thinking of the problem. You're just focused on the problem and not able to really think clearly for how are we going to solve this?
Right. And that's what our society today, and as you were talking about again this, and I get what you were doing, right? Sometimes we don't always rehearse what's going on at the beginning, so she just kind of comes out with that worry thing. But it creates anxiety. When you worry, it creates anxiety. And an anxious person can be very difficult to be around when you're trying to work through things because they're consumed with the problem.
Yeah.
A person that is focused on solution is focused on results. Which person do you want to be? Because you have to choose.
So true.
Yeah.
You have to choose which person you're going to be. So if you're going to focus on the problem, or you're going to focus on solutions. And solutions, then, when you start dwelling on the solution, that's when ideas, and sometimes the greater the stress of working through of what that solution might be, that's where some of the greatest companies in the
That's so
world
true.
were created,
From finding
and
a solution to something.
lived through a very difficult period of time. Isn't that amazing?
And worry produces fear, right? And as I'm sitting there, I'm thinking back to my retail days and I still have the picture in my mind. You know, you set up we call them demo TVs, where there's product underneath and a video loop playing. And I think it was for a razor blade. And it was whitewater rafting. What that has to do with shaving, I don't know. But it was the line that he said was, fear can be your greatest ally or your greatest nemesis. You get to choose, right? And that's so true. We can take fear and propel us to great outcomes.
Yes, we can.
Or we can take fear and go hide in a corner because we're so petrified. But worry leads us to fear, and fear can be an extreme on this side and an extreme on this side. Which side do you want to take? Because you're going to
So
come
true.
out on the other side, right? You're going to persevere through, depending on what the
results are you
circumstance.
going to get from it? Are you
What result are
stuck
you
in
gonna
a
get?
corner where you're just like,
Yeah.
you're paralyzed by the fear and you can't even move? Or you say, okay, I have fear here, but I'm not going to let it keep me or paralyze me from doing what I need to do, and I'm going to step out in boldness and courage to overcome the fear.
It's
And
so
what am I fearful of? Like, what is it that I'm
Is it
afraid of?
realistic even?
Like, stop for a minute. It's okay. I'm feeling the fear. Why am I afraid? What is provoking this fear? What could happen? And then your determination in that, when you understand what's driving that fear.
Yeah.
Yep.
Most people get very stuck with this. We see a lot of clients that can get stuck with this because the what ifs, and mostly, like, if they're a home-based business, for example, and they have to do, reach out to people. And what could they possibly get when they reach out to people? They could get a no and a rejection, and that can stop them from actually taking the action because they don't want to hear the no. Instead of, like, that's possible, I'm going to hear a no, but what if I got a yes?
Yeah.
And, like, next I need to find the person, keep doing the thing that I'm supposed to do and walk in that courage to keep doing it until I get the yes, and be consistent. And what do I need to learn each time to do it differently so that I can get the yes, instead of just like, well, I gotta know. That means, that means I can't do it. It's like,
Yeah, well, I've seen it in my professional life so many times where people get in business leaders that they get profoundly caught up in fear, and it causes them to compromise. And fear can create, when a person starts compromising, they start letting the things that they actually was their original dreams and goals for themselves become a reality. And when that sets in, everything starts shifting in their life. And it usually doesn't shift in a
true.
good way.
Right.
yeah.
It usually doesn't shift in a good way.
We have
And
a client that we know that has really come a long way with all of that, had a lot of fear We're talking about that before.
Yes, we are. And she actually went through the same program we went through with our master coach, Coach Carmen O'Quinn, on, really improving her health, and that's Hannah. She really stepped into it. She, didn't know how this was going to turn out. She had questions in her job. She had questions in her and everything she was doing. She was
business.
Yes,
should I do that? Can I do it?
It's just like she was rolling. If you think about it, even in the event she was talking to us about, she was rolling a boulder of fear. And all we took was a big old hammer and just put a little chisel and go clank, and then it just crumbled. Fear will crumble when it's when it's pressed against discipline. Discipline will crumble fears. Crumble. Because it's where you're actually realizing the things that are most important to you that brought you success when you hold true to those, regardless if it's a person, a relationship, a business, when you're holding true to those values that made you who you are.
Yeah, and taking those steps and taking action.
And she did that.
And then it builds your confidence. Action builds your confidence to take those steps, and then you see that you can do that.
That's right.
When you feared taking that step, and then you take it, and you're consistent with it.
Over and over again.
Yeah.
She did it in 3 different areas of her life. All at one time,
crazy.
because discipline led her to that.
Yes.
Because when you
good.
when you say you can't do something, it actually means that you're saying, I'm not going to give to these steps, these certain steps that's required of me.
More like I won't.
Yeah.
I won't do this.
But when you say I will, and you start doing it, right? It wasn't fun when we committed.
Yeah.
Coach Carmen got on there and told me, you got to do this, and you got to do 30 minutes every day, and you got to eat out of these containers. And I was like, and Butch was trying to shove, he's a real good influence right here. Love my people of Destiny Global Community. What is
shove the Whataburger.
I could get some stuff in those containers.
He said it would fit. Now it looked like a mush burger by the time it was done. But what does Carmen call him? El Diablo?
Yeah. Yeah,
but let me tell you
devil.
something. Butch has got a sense of humor in that. But the reality of it is that as we push through things and we push through fear, and this has been said, and I'm not the original one saying it, so please understand that. On the other side of that door of fear is the greatest victories of your life waiting on you. Press through. One of mine was actually where we're going for something. I'm going to tell you something. So we're doing this First Steps to Success in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And April and I went out there, and I don't confess this very often, but I do not like heights. And this young lady convinced me to go on the highest, this thing that took us from one point to another. What is it called?
Hot air balloon.
No, that was true too. That's another one. I was thinking of the
gondola.
Yeah,
thing.
Gondola. And we're going, and so the wind starts blowing.
We need to do that when we're there.
We start swinging as the gondola's going up, and we're like, it's only 1,500 feet below. Okay, we're going to be much.
What's the worst that could happen?
The same thing that happens to that hamburger that you smushed in that container. But besides that, the reality of it was, and then she says, and we're going to do a hot air balloon.
That's right.
2 great things for a person.
It was our 30th. Come on.
Yeah, it was a great
our
anniversary.
30th
Time to break some news.
It is true.
Come on.
We did, and so she convinced me, and I love the hot air balloon run because actually you felt at complete ease as you just lifted off. And you could feel you were surrounded by power. But yet sometimes in our life we don't realize we're surrounded by such power, and you hear the what is that? And that hot air would go into the balloon and you would start floating, and Jen, you would just take off into new heights.
So much so that you have all the neighbors, because we're going right over the homes, and the neighbors are yelling at us because we're so loud.
That's a different problem because their dogs would not shut up.
Yeah, the dogs.
Maybe I was whistling at them and barking at them. Sorry for all my friends in Albuquerque. We're coming back.
They're not going to welcome.
I'm coming back to see you and be your friend.
Well, I think we need to parachute jump then.
I'm Butch. Okay.
Listen, you talked about the power. We'll be strapped to somebody.
Let me just tell you something. My key man insurance policy does not allow for 2 things. Parachuting is one of them.
That sounds like an excuse.
Well, if you jump without a
parachute. That's
parachute.
not an excuse. That's a multi-million-dollar policy.
Well,
We are totally
why?
off track. We are not going parachuting. Forget it.
If you want Ken to parachute,
Yeah,
comment below.
Give us a comment below. Do
Yeah,
the coffee
drop a
mug.
parachute.
Oh, a parachute. That's what we need. We need a parachute. That's
That's not
right.
what
right.
Jen said. You're supposed to drop me a picture of your coffee mug.
That
Your
too.
favorite coffee mug.
You can drop
not
two.
a parachute.
There's no reason you can't drop two.
Maybe
right?
a GIF. We want to see all the
Yes.
parachuting GIFs.
Come on.
below.
Let's do it. I'll do it
Let's
if you do it.
Let's get it. Let's
It's
get it
not
going.
about you do it, I do it.
Ooh, we could actually raise money for this and like go to King's Ransom like we did the
Did
plunge.
you hear what I said?
The polar
You
plunge.
understand. I have Keyman insurance that doesn't allow that. And Chris is giving me
Okay.
the sign.
Yeah.
No, Chris,
okay.
put your
Anyway,
arms
we
down.
got to move on. This is great though.
We're coming to Albuquerque
We're
for
gonna
first steps to
decide,
success.
yes.
Get off that topic.
April 12th through 14th. If you might want to see if he's going to. Anyway, we might have to up the insurance
Yeah.
too.
Think about that. A, you're in heaven.
Yeah.
And B, the family's taken care of.
This is
What
going
better way to go?
so south. You never know how Coffee with Ken is going to go. Anyway, April 12th through 14th. Okay, if he's not going to jump, we're going to have so much training there that you will get so many results. First steps to success in Albuquerque. We would love to have you there.
Yes.
The information is below. Click on it. Get your ticket. Get your hotel room because those are
It's a beautiful
filling
hotel.
up. It is
Yep.
a beautiful hotel. So we would love to see you there. And thank you for joining us
Yes.
for Coffee with Ken. And
Yes.
hey, parachutes below. Like,
Next to your coffee mug.
I want to see your coffee mug. Forget the parachute thing. But she's gotten
Okay.
carried away.
We're good.
anyway, thanks for
Parachute.
joining us. We'll see you next time on Coffee with Ken.
Have a
Bye.
great day. You guys are nuts.